Coming up on Cronkite News, the overturn of Roe v. Wade left many things unclear in the state of Arizona. What experts are saying about the future of abortion law in our state.
Plus, 2 Arizona senators have just been blocked from ever going to Russia. Why Russia says the decision to ban 25 new Americans comes from its oil.
And what has caused the teacher shortage in Arizona schools, and what can be done to keep more of them in the classroom.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Mackenzie Hamill.
I'm Carolina Hassett. Thank you for joining us. Despite confusion, some abortion providers have started offering abortion services again in Arizona. The Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade has left the state with a battle between 2 laws. The state attorney general is asking the court to enforce a 1901 law that restricts almost all abortions, but Planned Parenthood is urging the court to enforce a newer and less restrictive law. Living in a world of confusion.
The patients are scared.
More than 2 months after the Supreme Court's decision on abortion access, many Arizonans are still unclear about what is legal under state abortion laws.
We're also dealing with barriers as being a nurse first. How far can I go with this patient?
The confusion in Arizona getting national attention. Health and Human Service Secretary Javier Becerra joined a roundtable hosted by Planned Parenthood to hear concerns from healthcare providers.
We understand that we can't tell a state what laws to pass, but we certainly could tell a state that the laws that they passed are unconstitutional or violate federal laws and are therefore preempted. And we'll do that where we must.
While the courts decide whether to enforce a near total ban on abortions or enact the new Arizona law restricting abortions after 15 weeks, doctors are still unsure of what they can and cannot do to help patients.
There is still this fear from which our abortion workers come from that it's not safe for them to assist in providing abortion care.
The 15-week ban is set to go into effect September 24th after being signed by Arizona Governor Doug Ducey. But with the old law on the table, it appears the confusion will linger longer.
If the court decides to agree with Planned Parenthood and not revive that old law, then we have a situation where you can get abortions in the state of Arizona up to 15 weeks of gestation. And once you've passed 15 weeks, you cannot get an abortion in the state of Arizona unless it's for a medical emergency.
If the court decides to revive the old law, abortion will be criminalized fully in the state, no matter how far along a woman is in her pregnancy. It will also subject providers to potential jail sentences for performing abortion services. The judge will announce her decision after September 19th.
Arizona Senators Mark Kelly and Kyrsten Sinema are the latest officials banned from entering Russia. Yesterday, Russia announced new sanctions on 25 Americans, blocking them from ever visiting the country. The move comes after G7 leaders agreed to impose a price cap on Russian oil last week. Since the war began in February, Senators Kelly and Sinema have both supported the defense of Ukraine, Kelly calling it a matter of national security. Both have also backed U.S. sanctions against Russia. 2 other Americans banned from Russia include actors Sean Penn and Ben Stiller. They have publicly criticized Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and both met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. President Joe Biden has also been blocked from entering Russia, this from previous sanctions. Electronic cigarette company Juul will pay nearly $440 million for a multi-state teen vaping probe. It's from a 2020 investigation that 33 states joined after the country saw a surge in teen vaping. The investigation found that Juul marketed its e-cigarettes to underage teenagers, using launch parties, giveaways, and young-looking models in their ads. Juul advertised their products as a smoking alternative, but many of them contained high levels of nicotine. Even with this settlement, Juul is still facing 9 other state lawsuits and hundreds of personal ones. In Arizona, Attorney General Mark Brnovich announced a $14.5 million settlement with Juul last year.
There are lots of signs of fall, and in Arizona, a shortage of teachers for state schools has long been one of them. But educators say it is particularly bad this year. As Cronkite News reporter John Brown reports from our Washington bureau.
Sarah James has been a teacher for 24 years, but what she sees in Arizona classrooms this fall worries her, both as a teacher and a mom.
I think it's impacted as a mother of 2 kids. I am worried about seeing veteran teachers, high quality teachers leave.
What worries James and others is a teacher vacancy rate this fall that is high even by Arizona standards, where filling teacher jobs is an annual scramble for school districts.
There have been a lot of districts around us that have lost a lot of staff and are feeling that effect of not being able to fully staff their schools.
A report from the Arizona School Personnel Administrators Association from early this year said 31% of teacher jobs were unfilled in January, up 5 percentage points the year before. As of June, the association said there were 2,200 teacher vacancies. To help ease the shortage, state lawmakers this year eased testing and certification requirements for teachers and made it easier for out-of-state teachers to take jobs in Arizona and let local school districts train school administrators. While that could help, educators say it does not address the real problems with the ongoing teacher shortage: low pay, poor working conditions, and little support in schools.
We need to make sure that people that are already in the classroom, who are veteran educators, who have been committed to the common good and being committed to their communities, stay there.
The National Education Association reported that the average starting teacher's salary from last school year was $41,770. In Arizona, the average starting salary was $40,554. Both Garcia and James say it's not a teacher shortage, but rather a retention problem with teachers in school districts, an argument echoed by Beth Lewis.
I used to work at a school that was really low income, and the teacher turnover rate was 50% every year.
One solution, she says, is more funding and training to better prepare teachers. James admits the pay and benefits can make it hard to get by, but she's sticking to her job. In Washington, John Brown, Cronkite News.
Exact numbers for the current school year are not yet available, but the Arizona School Personnel Administrators Association, which has been doing its teacher vacancy survey since 2016, says about 1/4 of teacher jobs are typically still vacant about a month into the school year. Today, White House officials announced that a yearly COVID shot may be necessary for years to come as the virus continues to linger. The director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, Dr. Anthony Fauci, says the yearly shot could begin later this year. The purpose of the annual shot will be to continue to fight off the COVID-19 virus and the current circulating strains, similar to a flu shot. Fauci also says people with weaker immune systems may need more frequent protection.
Mexican women entrepreneurs are of vital importance to Arizona's economy, according to experts. Cronkite News reporter Jennifer Sani tells us about a program that is helping them reach their goals.
Here at ASU's Thunderbird School of Global Management, Mexican women business owners are on a path to success. About 100 people gathered to kick off the Consular Entrepreneurship Program for Mexican women abroad.
In attendance were members of the Mexican consul, past participants in the training program, and Phoenix Mayor Kate Gallegos, who said she is also an entrepreneur. Women entrepreneurs at today's event range from photographers to caregivers to sign printers and real estate agents. Women from all backgrounds came to build their entrepreneurial skills.
Well, I've been part of this program because I really would like to know the steps to create a business here in Arizona. All the tools that I needed, for example, in marketing, finance, so all the tools that I need to learn how to increase and to improve in my business.
This program has been a model for other Mexican consulates around the country. Women of Mexican heritage who are interested in enrolling in this program can contact the Mexican consulate. In Phoenix, Jennifer Sani, Cronkite News.
Coming up after the break, extreme heat warnings are making dangerous hiking weather. We'll explain the steps you need to stay safe the next time you hit the trails.
The National Weather Service has declared an excessive heat warning for much of the state through tomorrow. We'll have details on how long that could last, along with your full forecast.
Okay, let's go right up in here and start having some fun.
Such a thrill to be able to do this.
Recreation is the gateway drug to conservation.
How do you create that perfect straight edge?
You can do anything.
History is today. Chasing the American dream.
Experience something personal.
A place of imagination.
I can go anywhere I want to go.
You guys are just going to love it.
An entertainment experience unlike anything.
There's something for everyone with Passport on the PBS Video app.
On Masterpiece Mystery.
Evil can find its roots so easily in an English village. The landscape of criminal investigation. Murder, almost certainly.
Modern policing methods.
We endeavor to do our best.
We're working hard to solve this case.
And to make sure justice gets done.
It's a new adventure.
And the rest, as they say, is mystery.
I can hardly wait.
Art was one of the powers that made life life. I think we all believed that.
This is a real life story of a real live person.
This was my only connection to my culture.
Fight the power.
Our stories deserve to be heard.
You're passionate and you respect your heritage. That is a perfect recipe.
Now is the time for the Reformation. Now is the time to rebuild the nation.
That's amazing.
You're making me cry.
Some girls can go out there and just steal a spotlight.
This is the moment that we've all been waiting for.
Everyone has something to contribute to humanity. The arts are the thing that does that.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Crews are still working to repair power poles knocked down by a windstorm in Bullhead City Sunday evening. A storm with wind gusts of 60 miles per hour toppled over 50 power poles. 36,000 residents were left without power. By Monday morning, only 15,000 had regained power. Officials say crews have been working through the nights, but it could take many more hours to repair all damages and have electricity fully restored.
After days of extreme heat warnings, experts say to exercise caution when hiking in these excruciating hot temperatures. Park rangers suggest a number of ways for avid hikers to still be able to hit the trails. Start early before the temperatures get too hot. We all know drinking plenty of water is important, but they also suggest eating a nutritional meal beforehand and bringing snacks along with. And if you're a beginner to the Arizona hiking scene, they say it's best to learn your limits first, so to start off on shorter trails. Lastly, it's always important to tell someone where you're going before beginning the hike. And even if you're not going hiking, it's still important to be prepared if you're heading outside at all this week. Let's head over to Isabella with your weather report.
We are back to another very hot week here in Arizona. Starting off with our evening planner, we will be in those triple-degree temperatures up until 10 p.m. when it will finally drop to 99 degrees. If you were looking for some relief from the heat tomorrow, that simply is not going to happen because we are looking at high temps all across the state. 108 here in Phoenix tomorrow and up to 109 degrees in Bullhead City. If you're wondering where the coolest spot will be on Wednesday, that will be up north, up in Flagstaff, where it will only be 85 degrees. As I touched on, it is very hot, so hot that there are a couple of excessive heat warnings across the state. Right now in Phoenix, all the way down in Yuma, and all across the western part of the state, we are in an excessive heat warning, which will be in act until 8 p.m. tonight. However, there will be a lot of cloud coverage moving across the state due to Hurricane K. And as Hurricane K moves northwest, we will see that cloud action and some slight chances of rain. Finally, with our 8-day forecast, we will see a drop in temperatures on Friday and Saturday, again, due to that hurricane. But overall,
Triple-degree temps all across the board. So stay hydrated and find some shade. Isabella Fredrickson in the Weather Center.
And I'm Joseph Furtado. Coming up after the break, I'll have your Cronkite Sports Report, including the Hamilton Huskies, who are no longer on probation. We were there for their season opener. Next.
Okay, let's go right. Such a thrill to be able to do this.
Recreation is the gateway drug to conservation.
How do you create that perfect straight edge?
You can do anything.
History is today. Chasing the American dream.
Experience something personal.
A place of imagination.
I can go anywhere I want to go.
You guys are just going to love it.
An entertainment experience unlike anything.
There's something for everyone with Passport on the PBS Video app.
On Masterpiece Mystery.
Evil can find its roots so easily in an English village. The landscape of criminal investigation. Murder, almost certainly.
Modern policing methods.
We endeavour to do our best. We're working hard to solve this case.
And to make sure justice gets done.
It's a new adventure. And the rest, as they say, is mystery.
I can hardly wait.
Art was one of the powers that made life life. I think we all believed that.
This is a real life story of a real live person.
This was my only connection to my culture.
Fight the power. Our stories deserve to be heard.
You're passionate and you respect your heritage. That is a perfect recipe.
Now is the time for the Reformation. Now is the time to rebuild the nation.
That's amazing.
You're making me cry.
Some girls can go out there and just steal a spotlight.
This is the moment that we've all been waiting for.
Everyone has something to contribute to humanity. The arts are the thing that does that.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Welcome back to the Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Joseph Furtado. Labor Day weekend brought with it a slew of high school football games as several big teams kicked off the season, including Hamilton. The Huskies had been barred from playing in the postseason as punishment for a recruiting violation over the summer, but the AIA rescinded that probation last week. Cronkite News reporter Adam Schwager tells us the program has new life.
Last Tuesday, Hamilton head coach Michael Zadebski left the AIA offices victorious in the Huskies' appeal to remove their probation from the playoffs. 3 days later, he left the football field victorious as Hamilton won its season opener. Hamilton played with purpose after being granted new life. Former defensive coordinator Tim Doherty, who was accused of recruiting a player from Cesar Chavez over summer, was placed on leave. The move helped Hamilton's appeal to the AIA as the team named defensive line coach Parker Barrett as Doherty's replacement. Now, after 2 weeks of turmoil, the Huskies are putting their focus back on the football field.
Yes, sir. We're not worried about none of the outside noise. We focus on what's on in between the white lines. So we just came, did our business, and we ready for week 2.
Despite the coaching change, the Hamilton defense showed up in a massive way on Friday night, giving up 0 points in the first 3 quarters with the first-team offense in their 38-14 victory over Centennial.
Kids have done a great job of practicing and preparation, and just worrying about playing football, and they're wonderful kids.
With their season back on track, Hamilton will look to capture their first state title since 2012. In Chandler, Adam Schwager, Cronkite News.
Hamilton's first big test will come just 2 games into the season when they travel to Nevada this weekend to take on the top 10 national powerhouse, Bishop Gorman. And September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and NASCAR Cup Series champs Chase Elliott and Jeff Gordon teamed up for the inaugural NASCAR Ignition Luncheon benefiting Phoenix Children's Hospital. NASCAR legends took time out of their busy schedules to raise money for childhood cancer. the luncheon, which honored Daniel Sanchez, a young bone cancer patient at Phoenix Children's Hospital, was held at the Biltmore Hotel. NASCAR Hall of Famer Dale Jarrett was master of ceremonies. With the 16-driver field for the 2022 NASCAR Cup playoffs now set, Jarrett says anything could happen in the chase for the Cup.
This looks like it is setting up for Chase Elliott to win the second championship, but are we going to have a real surprise winner? We've had surprise winners a lot this year, but is someone going to jump in there that we're really not expecting and grab their first championship?
Chase Elliott lost his points lead after crashing and finishing last at Sunday's Southern 500. The final cup will be handed out at Phoenix Raceway November 6th. After a breakout freshman year topped off with an Intercollegiate Tennis Association Rookie of the Year award, Arizona State tennis star Murphy Cassone had a chance to make his claim at the 2022 U.S. Open. Cronkite News reporter Haley Smilo has the story from our Washington bureau.
For Murphy Cassone, the thought that he might play in the U.S. Open started to become real last year.
Last year, every time I'd practice, I'd think practice like you're practicing the U.S. Open. And so having that mindset every day, then actually getting there was really big for me too.
He realized that dream, even if it didn't turn out quite the way he hoped, getting knocked out by Liam Brody in the first round of the U.S. Open qualifiers, Cassone took Brody down in the first set, 6-3. But Brody came back to win 7-6 and 6-1 to take the match. Still, Sun Devils men's tennis coach Matt Hill says Cassone showed he belonged.
He did not at all look like a fish out of water by any means. He, ball striking wise, was as good or better than a lot of the guys in the 100 to 200 range that we were seeing in the qualifying.
With the U.S. Open behind him, Cassone is now focused on his sophomore season. He's looking to continue his strong showing from the Pac-12 season, where he went 9-0 in singles matches.
I beat the #1 player in college. That match really changed my whole season around, as it was just made me realize I could compete at that level and do it consistently.
Tennis has always been the Kansas native's life. He said his parents took him to the court as a baby while they played, and he's had a racket in his hands since he was in diapers. It was his athleticism and natural talent that made him stand out from the rest for ASU coach Hill.
His athleticism and his skill set and his kind of frame as an athlete was kind of the first thing I would say that drew me as a recruiter. It's kind of the first thing you see, right? But then, as I got to know him, his personality and his discipline and the way he works at his craft, that really stood out to me as well.
And that work ethic may lead Cassone back to the U.S. Open, perhaps next time in the main draw. In Washington, Haley Smilo, Cronkite News.
Cassone was among 2 ASU men's players in this year's U.S. Open. Konstantinos Koshis made it to the main draw in the juniors, but got eliminated in the field of 64. Meanwhile, former ASU women's player Desiree Kravchuk has made it to the quarterfinals at the U.S. Open in doubles and mixed doubles. Kravchuk is a 4-time major champion in mixed doubles and is a source of pride for the Sun Devils.
Do what she's done. It's super exciting, and she's fun to watch anyway. I don't know if you've ever seen Desiree or met her, but she's got a lot of energy and passion to her, and she's a lot of fun to root for sure. So it's super exciting.
For mixed doubles, Kravchuk is paired with Desiree Schurz, and they play tomorrow night in the quarterfinals. That's it for today's Cronkite Sports Report. Back to you, Mackenzie.
Coming up after the break, why you should read a book today and the mental health benefits associated with reading.
Ain't no time for imitation, ain't no time for playing. I'm just gonna do me.
You know what I'm saying?
Try to stay out of trouble.
Where's the fun in that? You know how ladies can be.
I'ma do what I do.
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite No Thesis prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience
Nopales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
and develop your skills with the latest technology.
That way the flavors will marry nicely.
Can you tell me what I'm looking at?
I'm not looking for love, I'm looking for cookies.
And there's still places to discover.
It just absorbs you.
You can make this at home if you can't find it. I will continue to eat and drink until you get here. Get here fast.
Cheers.
Oh, look at that. Oh, doesn't that look good?
We are going to be eating well.
It does work. It does.
We got a happy little sky.
We're just getting started. It's time to turn back to paper entertainment. Today is National Read a Book Day. Every year on September 6th, Americans are invited to open books, both new and old. Many studies over the decades have found great mental health benefits of reading. These benefits include improving a person's memory and concentration. And if you're older, reading also helps to slow cognitive decline. Participants are encouraged to spread the word on social media by using the hashtag #ReadABookDay.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thank you for joining us. For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.